Round two of the Six Nations is done and dusted. My biggest question was, can round two live up to the hype of round one? And I think it did. Controversy, a comeback, a thumping. Controversy in that Scotland-France game, the score 16-20. I think Scotland should have won that. They TMO decision, tough call. I thought he grounded it. It looked pretty clear to me. Wales lead England for the whole game, well, for 60, 70 minutes of the game. Yellow card, George Ford kicks the penalty, England win by 2 points. And then Ireland show why they are one of the best nations, rugby nations in the world at the moment, and give Italy a good old thumping, 36-0. What did you guys think of this round? Did it live up to the hype of round one? I think it did. Let me know in the comments what you think, but we are going to get into it. Scotland versus France, 16-20. I said this was going to be the toughest game to call. I called Scotland by 3, I think. What? Oh, man, it was the opposite by 4. So I missed out on one. And I feel like Scotland should have won that game. So I was kind of right. A massive call right at the end, the TMO decision. I hate when a game comes down to a TMO decision because it kind of rules out everything else of that game. This becomes the talking point. And I'm doing that by talking about it now. It was a massive part of the game. Nick Berry's, obviously his words or his decision to say that he had held up. So TMO had to find conclusive evidence to overturn that call. He said the ball's on the ground. I could see the ball on the ground. Under Tuilangi's massive arm, the ball, it touched the Gilbert. It touched the ground. I feel like it touched the ground. I feel like Scotland were hard done by there. Obviously, doesn't take away from the fact that they had 1,000 opportunities throughout the game as well, especially in that first half. But still tough, man. And like I said, I don't want to comment on the refs' decisions. And there's enough experts that do that. I just hate when the decision of a whole game comes down to a TMO decision. It's the game of inches. Another thing I think they need to scrap is this new kicking back and forth law where guys can just stand still. I don't fully understand it. But it's something about the chases, and if someone's onside, the guy catches the ball, can just stand still, and the guys aren't allowed to chase, put pressure on them. Something needs to change there because it just looks silly. I get trying to save energy rather than running back and forth, but it's not a good look for the game. They need to change that. But I think the game took a while to get going. Very stop-start. There's 15 handling errors by the 55th minute. 15. Those front rowers are going to have they'll be walking around like this for the rest of the week. That many scrums, a lot of back and forth. And then it took a moment of brilliance by Louis Bele-Bere to that chip chase and score. Oh, man. He's only 20 years old. Him swapping out with Mofana. Mofana was on the wing for the Ireland game, and they wanted a bit more X-Factor, bringing him on. He's X-Factor. He's what they call X-Factor. Twinkle toes. Beautiful try. And France take the lead in the 71st minute. Oh, man. What a game. Like I said, it was the toughest game to call, I feel like, this weekend. We're going to get straight into it. I'm going to stay on Scotland. They showed intent right from the start to attack, which they did in their first game as well. They want to attack. And it worked for them in the first game. It worked in patches for them in this game. But just not patient on attack, I think, was there a bit of their problem. Sometimes the timing on some of their runs, some of the guys running the dummy lines, those short balls, not timing their run correctly, or bad passes. And then that just kind of strings on worse, bad decisions. So you get a bad pass here. This guy's under pressure. He throws a bad pass or makes the wrong decision. So it kind of then a chain reaction kind of happens. What they did well against Wales was Ben White's box kicking, and they used it again in this game. And your kick is always only as good as the pressure or the pressure you apply on it, the chase. Ben White's kicks, execution to a T, 10 out of 10. But Duan van der Merwe's pressure he puts on those kicks to try and get the ball back, to put the opposition under pressure. They did that for their first try. Beautiful box kick. Duan van der Merwe, pressure on the kick, regather possession, and then a beautiful backline play. It just shows that they skill that the Scottish side have, that it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be first phase. They're running backline plays or second, third phase. Beautiful hands, out the back plays, and new debutant, Harry Patterson, hit that line beautifully. Run, take the player on his inside, drew him in, offloaded. Hugh Jones, quick hands, inside to Ben White to cross over for that first try. What a try. What a try. And that all started with Ben White's execution on the box kick and Duan van der Merwe's applying pressure for that kick, to chase that kick. Just as little chain of events that then lead to a try. So that was beautiful. They had lots of opportunities in that first half. Yes, they took kicks at goal, but there was a lot of times where they took the quick tap or they took the line-out option and didn't convert that into points. Credit to France's defense. They've obviously worked on that heavily. Against Ireland, they struggled on their defense. Very disconnected, going up in bits and bobs. This week, they were flat, strong defense. I thought Scotland defended well in patches as well. I mean, they did for most of the game because France couldn't break through. They couldn't get through. Rory Dodge, man, impact in the game. Straight in the first 3 minutes, gets a turnover at ruck time. He's a beast. Imagine him and Tommy Raffel from Wales in the same team. Whew, that'd be dangerous. I thought Duan van der Merwe's didn't score a try, didn't score a double, didn't really get the ball much. But what he did off the ball, so obviously setting up that first try, getting the ball back from a kick, and then the try saver on Gael Fiku, coming from the other side of the field, as all good blind wingers do, cover defense. So the ball's gone that way, he's on this side of the field. It's cover defense, run across the whole way across the field, made the tackle on Fiku, got up at the next ruck or next phase, intercepted. It was 5 meters from their line, intercepted and kicked the ball down back to 50-meter line. Great, that little plays like that build to potentially winning the game or putting your team in a good position to go on and win the game. He stopped the 100% a try there for sure. Like I said, Scotland's kicking, again, good for Ben White. There was some parts, I think it was twice, where Scotland scored. They either scored a try or they kicked a conversion, and then receiving off the kickoff receipts off the back of that. Like they did so well in the Welsh game to then exit. Twice they messed up their exits and France turned that into points. And there's something that, again, they'll want to concentrate on to be better at. But yeah, Ben White's box kicks in general played pinpoint. And then Duan van der Merwe obviously putting great pressure on there. Finn Russell's out-of-hand kicks, fantastic. He applies, I think once or twice he might have kicked where he could have played. But he applies so much pressure to the opposition when he kicks really well. Attacking kicks, turning the back three around. And then obviously great off the tee, 4 from 4. I think my standouts for Scotland, new kid, Harry Patterson, come in for Kyle Steyn. Kyle Steyn's wife has had a baby or has gone into labour. Harry Patterson come in at fullback. Kyle Rowe went to the wing. Man, confidence on these new guys just coming in. Same with Cam Winnett for Wales, the fullback. Guys just coming in, getting hands on the ball, not afraid to contest for the ball, and just getting stuck in, making strong tackles. He had a few touches on the ball, like world class. Obviously setting up Ben White's try. He broke the line. They got that half tackle offloaded. Hugh Jones, and then Ben White scored. Quick decision-making, to back himself, gets the ball at the back, looks up, darts, let's go. beautiful, good, very, very impressed there on debut. And then Pierre Schoeman, I feel like for Scotland is he's so important for the Scottish team. Obviously what he does at scrum time, but off the ball, man, he gets through a mountain of work. Tackles, hitting rucks, and then obviously he's very strong with ball in hand. He's one of their prominent ball carriers. He's always tucking the ball and always makes meters off ball carries. And a massive engine on him. It goes 80 minutes. Yes, Ian. Oof. Good man. Good one there for the Piggies. We'll jump over to France. Very unfortunate for Aldrit getting stretched off or carted off. Never good. He was kind of leading France in their defense, making strong tackles, getting there in ruck time. And that's how he injured himself at ruck time, stealing a ball. It looked like a knee or an ankle. Is not good. A lot better in attack, more connected. They didn't get much opportunity. Scotland had a lot of the ball. There was a lot of kicking as well. Did also show attacking intent from the line out. Like I say, line out's your biggest attacking option, weapon, because the teams are so far back, defensive lines. Fiku went there, almost scored. Continued pressure for their first try, just knocking away, and knowing when to shift the ball. And Fiku did end up scoring in the corner. And then it took up until the 70th minute to go ahead for something crazy, some magic to happen. Louis Belair brought in on the wing for moments like this, hugging that touchline. He had 3 or 4 Scottish guys on him, puts it on the left foot, perfectly weighted, chip kick, 2 bounces, scores the try. 20 years old, how good, away at Murrayfield, that's massive. He'll remember that one for a long time. Their defense, I thought, was a lot better. Obviously, something they had to work on. They got pumped against Ireland, very disconnected. And I thought they were really a lot more disconnected. Sean Edwards obviously gave them absolute spray, I'm guessing, during the week. Sometimes too keen. 3 offside penalties, which led to 9 points. Something they'll look at. And then Aldrit, I thought, was their man leading them up. And when he went off, kind of staggered a little bit. But they'll have to, because I think he'll be done for the series. They'll have to look at someone else then to lead that French defense. Kicking Ramos, again, 4 from 4. Exceptional off the tee. Doesn't ever look like missing. And France just held in there. Credit to them. Yes, you can't make decisions, whatever the TMO is going to say. You just go out there, play your best to try and win the game. And France, they hung in there the whole game. Only took the lead in the 71st minute. Oh, tough as a TMO call to make the decision at the end. Tough, but France will be they're happy. They won away at Murrayfield after getting pumped by Ireland the week before. Scotland feeling unlucky, I feel like. What did you guys think? Again, guys, I don't want to bash any TMOs or refs. I'll let the experts do that. I thought that was a try at the end. I feel like Scotland are unlucky. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye. England versus Wales at Twickenham, 16-14. England come away with the biscuits, the chocolates. Wales led for 60, 70 minutes of the game. Oh, very stop-start first 15 minutes. England had all the opportunities, all the ball, no points. Wales, their first opportunity they got from a line-out, scored the penalty try. 2 yellow cards for England in the first half, 1 yellow card for Wales deep in the second half, which then England converted into points. They took the lead and ended up winning the game. Oh, man, so disappointing for Wales. So tough. They led the whole game. Tough pill to swallow there. I thought they deserved to win that. But deserving to win it and actually winning it is 2 different things. What did you think? Let me know in the comments, but we're going to get straight into it. I'm going to go on England. Look to attack early on. I thought every time Freddie Stewart got kicks towards him, made good decisions, straight, always looking to attack off those decisions. Like I said, I kind of grilled England in their Italy game, where they're picking all these exciting players but weren't necessarily playing that style. It's not going to happen overnight. You can see the intent is there. They want to play attacking style of rugby, and it showed. Like the first opportunity Freddie Stewart got, the ball got kicked to him. Usually England would just kick it back. He ran. The first one broke straight through. Second opportunity he got, looked up, space on the left, played Elliot Daly, and Elliot Daly broke through. So good. That's intent. That's what England want. That's what their fans want. That's what me watching England want. I've been watching the Premiership, watching these teams play such an expansive style of rugby. These players are doing well for their clubs, get picked for England, and then they don't play that style. But you can see that, that's slowly starting to change, where they're starting to play more expansive style, using these talented players. The first try, Ben Earl picks off the back of the scrum and looks like he's playing in his younger brother's team. Like, I think he took 3 or 4 players with him and scored. I remember that. Any bigger 8 that was against me would pick up off the scrum and run straight at me. That's what that looked like. Because I wasn't going to tackle him. And that's what Welsh guys, they were just falling off him or holding onto him. Scored. Good. Massive good try there for Ben Earl. I thought the interplay between backs and forwards, like I said, you can see it's coming. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. Training these things, the style of play, and then actually executing in a game, 2 different things. You don't know what to expect from the defense. Timing is a massive thing. But the interplay between backs and forwards was a lot better. Continued pressure in the second half. They went for the line out, patient on attack, sucked them in, knew when to go wide. That must have been so tough for the Welsh guys to take, because they defended really well there. But again, kudos to England, credit to England, sucking players in phase after phase, being patient on attack and knowing when to go wide. And Dingwall scores in the corner. First try for England. How good. Their defense was probably their biggest improvement from last week. Obviously, Felix Jones, formerly with the Springboks, is taken over England's defense. And you can see that intent, that getting up off the line, rushing, making big tackles. They were a lot better this week in staying connected on defense. Italy found a few gaps last week where some guys were staggered. One guy was rushing out and this guy was too far back, where this week, if one guy was shooting up, they were closing that gap nicely. All that guy shooting was making the tackle. So that was good to see. Really suffocating Wales on defense. And Wales, suffocating Wales, gave them nothing. Like, at the end there, Wales resorted to chip kicks over or cross kicks during the game. A lot of cross kicks as well. It's obviously something they planned, but credit to England's defense. They kept coming. Kept all game. You'd think they were coming so hard at the start, rushing up on defense, good line speed. You were wondering if they could keep that up for the full 80, but they were deep into that half. When Wales had the ball, it was, 3 points, 2 points ahead, any penalty given away, and they could go to posts, and England just kept coming, kept their composure, kept putting pressure on their defense. George Ford's first conversion, he did step. I think he does do a little jink, and got not charged down. He didn't even kick the ball. The ball got kicked off the tee by a Welsh player. But he's always good off the tee. He'd be angry with himself for that one. At 50-22, he kicked at a crucial moment. That just swings the whole momentum of a game. Just so good at his kicking, his style, technique, and the strike of the ball off the tee and out of hand. Very, very good. Players that did well for me. Alex Mitchell, again, he exited really well, helped take pressure off George Ford. I thought Theo Dan, when he came on, the hooker, he's a handful. Give him the ball. He's a rampaging bull there. Give him the ball. High knees, working through contact. I thought he did really well. Ben Earl, man of the match. Got awarded man of the match. Very strong on defense. Obviously scored a great try. And, pestered ruck time. Loves carrying the ball up. So, yeah, good on. I was thinking of putting him in my fantasy team, but I didn't. So, yeah. Jumping over to Wales. Great attacking ball. First opportunity they got. Scored. Last week, their lineouts went to absolute shit. They lost their first 4 lineouts. This week, first lineout they get, penalty try. That confidence, that forward pack's confidence would have gone right sky high. They obviously worked on it, something they worked on during the week, and it's definitely paid off. They looked to run the ball whenever they could. Obviously, sometimes that's a bad thing. They were trying to run the ball out from 5 meters from their line. I think Maro Toje caught Ewan Lloyd fucking right on his try line. Sometimes you just need to get rid of the ball. Sometimes you can run it from the back there, but sometimes get rid of the ball. I thought their forwards using footwork and the little tip-on pass before contact was great. They obviously knew with England's new style of defense, rushing out of the line, they have to bring a little element there. They can't just take the ball and truck it up because you're going to get met with force. Little step, Aaron Wainwright, really good at that. Little jink before contact breaks through. The little tip-ons. And literally, as I was noting this down, Alex Mann got a little tip-on his inside, broke the line beautifully. And he went on to score. He did. Yeah, forwards using, great footwork before the line, getting into space, attacking weak shoulders, using the tip-on. Pays off. Oh, Rafael gets the inside ball. Yeah, back into Williams. And man, crashes over. Great way to counteract that rush defense. Sorry, I've had to look at my little notes here. I got a bit too excited. But it's great, like I said, to counteract that rushing defense, great little tip-ons on the inside. Or the footwork before contact. Beautifully. Just gets it. It makes the defense, you sit or you miss your tackle. So it's good. Good little add-on that they've done there. In the second half, they put their phases together nicely, shifted ball, picking off England's defense on the second, third phase. I think they did really well. But then, like I said, sometimes running it when they should really just be clearing the ball. And it kind of got them on the back foot a few times. Defense, great turnover first up. England attacking their line in the first 2 minutes. And they got a turnover right away. England was spraying the ball nicely as they are bringing on their new style of attack. And I felt like Wales were patient on defense there, knowing when to hit the ruck, and got a turnover there. Exit, after the first try was an absolute nightmare. That's where Ewan Lloyd got caught behind almost right on his try line. Sometimes you just need to get rid of the ball. I think that's something they'll definitely look at to better. 2 infringements at scrum time. I don't know too much about scrum time, but allowed England into the game in that second half, allowing them to stroll into that game. Something they want to work on, because you don't want to give soft penalties away like that. Massive defense around that 65th minute mark. Patient, again, wait for a player that was isolated and attacked that ruck and got the turnover. Very smart play. Massive turning points in the game was the yellow card to Mason Grady. Went for the intercept, kind of knocked the ball down. That 70th minute mark. George Ford then kicked 3 points over to take the lead. And then eventually England inevitably winning the game with that penalty. Used the cross kick a lot. I feel like sometimes too much. I get they were trying to combat that rush defense, but I think it worked once maybe, and they would have done it 3 or 4 times. But it's credit to England's defense. They've rushed up out the line. They worked on did a lot of improvement from their game versus Italy, and Wales kind of looked a little bit shell-shocked that they were leading most of the game. It almost felt like, when are we going to lose this? When are England going to take the lead, sort of thing. Going to standout players for me for the Wales team, I thought Cam Winnett, man, he's going to be a future star for Wales rugby, for international rugby. I'm calling it now. Not scared, contests for every high ball, makes great. What about his tackle on Elliot Daly? That's a try, massive try saver there. Not scared to put his head in places where you wouldn't put your boots. Good, loves to attack the ball as well. His first option when getting the ball at the back is attack. I personally love that. Gets his body in front of way bigger players than him on defense. He's a big one. He's a good one. He's a keeper. Cam Winnett. I thought Wainwright was, again, outstanding, strong ball carries. There's a couple times, I think, where maybe he wanted to carry the ball too often, but still does so much work in contact. Uses his footwork before contact really well. And I thought his man on the side of the scrum, who I thought was the man of the match for me, Alex Mann, he was my man of the match. The amount of work he gets through, unreal. He's not big, not a big fella at all, but so strong in contact at ruck time, making tackles, strong carrying the ball as well. Somehow just gets through tackles. His footwork's obviously good before contact. And he's everywhere. He's everywhere on the field. Scored, obviously, a great try. He's a great player and had an awesome game. I thought he was the man of the match for me. Unlucky for Wales. That was Wales' game to win. England won it right at the end. I don't think they didn't show enough for me to deserve to win it. But again, like I always say, deserving to win it and actually winning it, two different things. Let me know what you guys thought of the game. I thought that was Wales' game. I tipped Wales by 5. Oh, what do I know about rugby? Let me know in the comments what you guys thought, and I'll see you next time. But Ireland absolutely thump Italy, 36-0. The try right at the end was disallowed. Could have been in the 40 points to 0. Just an out-and-out thumping, an outright thumping. It was kind of to be expected. I tipped Ireland to win 13+, and Dan Sheehan to score 2 tries, and he did. I didn't put that bet on, so I didn't make anything from it. Maybe someone else did. We kind of saw, I think most people saw this coming. Ireland just suffocating Italy in attack and defense. The yellow card to Minicello I think it was in the second half. That didn't help Italy at all. Tripping? That's the second trip yellow card that we've seen. Yes, I think it is, yeah, that we've seen the Six Nations. And then a lot of errors from Italy as well when they did have the ball in hand. And that doesn't help. When you're playing against a world-class side like this Irish team, you can't afford to make any errors. I said in the preview, they're going to have to throw the whole kitchen sink at Ireland, and I still don't think they would make it or beat them. And yeah, they didn't. 36-0. We're going to get straight into it. Ireland, I'm going to go on Ireland first. Man, they attack. They get straight into their structure. No matter who they're playing against, they get straight into that structure. So many options for the ball carrier. Ball carrier has that. He's got the short. He's got the inside ball. He's got an out the back ball. He's got himself, obviously, as an option. It just sets up that player who has the ball. He's got so many options. He can make that many decisions. It makes his life easier. Because when he looks up, okay, he's got ball in hand. He has to look up what's happening. He knows exactly where everyone is. He then reacts off what the defense is doing. Sometimes the defense will shift straight off that guy because they think he's just going to play the tip on. Dummy, and you can go straight through. As a fluff, it gives you so much options. You got looking at what's in front of you, that many options. You know exactly where your players are, and you're just reacting off the defense, waiting for that defense to make a decision, and then you go off that. Man, and that interplay between backs and forwards is beautiful. It's great to watch. Like I said before, it doesn't matter who's playing where or who's in what position at what phase. Everyone knows exactly where to go, the timing of it, players in motion, be an option, and they know what to do, react. Their reaction time is great as well. The first opportunity they got on attack, Crowley scores after 13 phases. This just shows, like, they're not desperate. They don't get desperate. They don't do silly things. They build their phases. They're patient on attack. And when it does come up, I think it's Casey, the 9, drew nicely. Picked the ball up, drew that first player, and Crowley straightened up nicely. Great. And then just obviously their efficiency at breakdown as well when they've got the ball. Like, yes, building phases and being patient, that's one thing. But if your ruck speed, you turning the ball over, not turning the ball over, your ruck speed time is just, if it's quick, makes it so hard for the defense to set and then push up. So their turnover on ruck time is just like this. I think it's under 3 seconds or around 3 seconds. That ball, boom, is out. Defense, you've got no time to set. And then you still need to push up and put them under pressure. Ireland put teams under pressure by having that fast ruck speed. It's because they're so efficient at ruck time. Player who the ball carrier is taking ball into contact. He's quick. He's good with his place. A nice long place. He works in contact down, long place. Cleaners are straight over the ball. And the 9 is obviously, boom, straight there and playing that ball out. They stretch that Italian defense nicely, like they did with Ireland as well. I mean, with France, stretch them nicely. And it's with all those back plays. They're not just passing the ball, like just hands. There's always someone coming back at the line. He's used as a dummy run. There's someone out the back. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. And like they did with their first try for Sheehan in the corner, stretched. Oh, it's the second try, sorry. Stretched. And Sheehan dots it. I almost thought he got held up there for a second. I don't know what. He tried to go through Angie Kaposo's legs, but scored in the corner. And just their execution as well, it's pinpoint. And most of the time, 80%, 90% of the time, that ball is right here in the breadbasket. Good passing. It's beautiful. That one where the Henshaw try that was disallowed for double movement, it was double movement, but that was 23 phases. 23 phases. That just shows their patience on attack and their execution at ruck time. They don't care how long it takes. They're going to get there. Think quickly. You'd rather be attacking for 23 phases than defending. And they are like, and there's no rules around it. You can have the ball for as long as you want. And Ireland, they take that on. They're like, I want to keep the ball forever. You make all the tackles. No team wants to defend all the time. Even someone like Jamie George for England said they love defending. Yeah, you love it. Not all game, boy. Not all game. You want to run with the ball. You want to run with the ball. And Ireland do that really, really well. I thought James Lowe played that try of his. Such a powerful winger. He got the ball kind of stop-start. And when he decided to go, he's quick. He's pretty quick off the mark and strong in tackle. I think he had 2 or 3 guys on him. And what I loved is he always had the ball open for an offload. If he was going to get stuck, it was there to give. But he scored it in the end. And I also think they left a few opportunities out there. Obviously, Henshaw's try was disallowed. There's a few times where there was a little handling error or the timing was just off. Yes, there was a couple of new guys that come into play. It's not their strongest 15. But, yeah, there was a couple of points left out there. And a couple of times they got isolated at rucks. Sometimes that's what can be kind of the con of having there's pros and cons to the way they play. The con of having that tip-on ball. So if you tip on, sometimes that player there could get isolated. At ruck time, the ball could get turned over. Great hands and interplay for Nash's try on the one corner as well. Sucked Italians' defense in. And they're not just hands, but having players running those shorts, those decoy lines out the backs, coming from depth, players in motion, and Nash cutting in to score That try is beautiful. I thought on defense, McCarthy, he was just everywhere and reading the defense really well, shooting out the line, because Italy were also trying to play their style or impose their style of play on Ireland when they did have the ball and play the out-the-back balls. But McCarthy was just reading that beautifully, jumping through and squashing that player there with the ball, swims past that defense nicely and makes that tackle, that ball and all tackle. Great line speed. Like I said, they were smothering Italy on attack and defense. Every phase kind of just pushing up and pushing Italy back. They did resort to a few cross kicks and chip kicks that didn't really work out. I thought both kickers struggled a bit at the start. Crowley wasn't hitting it nicely, that good off the tee at all. He missed a couple, but he scored a try. He did kick 1 or 2 conversions, I think it was. So he helped my fantasy team because I needed it. And then standout players for me for Ireland, Joe McCarthy was absolutely everywhere. I didn't catch who won man of the match, but he was everywhere. He's a great player. Dan Sheehan, again, busy as always. I called 2 tries for him. He scored 2. Busy. Of course, I didn't get on the bet, but he was great. And then someone like James Lowe as well. Good, strong. Obviously, they use his left foot really well, and he's a good attacking threat. And I thought Jack Crowley, another little confidence booster this game for him. Maybe not so much with his kicking off the tee, but he was running the ball nicely. Even then when he got moved to fullback, running the ball nicely and just being confident with ball in hand. That's dangerous for every other team. Good for Ireland. Onto Italy, there's not much you can say. They got 36 points put on them. With their attack, they showed glimpses at times, but Ireland's defense was just smothering them. I thought they were very, very flat on attack. So rushing passes and then getting smothered with the ball or pushing a pass that wasn't there. Monty Ioane threw a couple of haymakers out the back. But that's what happens when you're getting smothered. We've got to do something here. Throw a skip pass and the ball goes 4 meters backwards. Defense, I thought that Fischetti, the prop, did really well at kind of picking his rucks. Got a turnover there once or twice. Also very strong in his tackling. And Lomaro, the captain as well. Just workhorse, man. I think he got through 1,000 tackles. He stole a few balls at ruck time as well. And like I said with Fischetti, Lomaro picks his rucks really well. Those isolated ones, he's right in there and steals the ball nicely. Not much. Although it was good to see Angie Caposo back on the field. He's elusive, man. He's so good. He's nothing of him. He's so small, but when he pins his ears back, it's a beautiful sight, man. His hair's flowing, and he just guns for it. There's a couple of times he got smoked, he got pumped in the tackle, but I just love it. Doesn't matter. He steps and just runs for it. He needs to be on that field all the time, and they just need guys inside of him to make a bit of space for him. But they've got the players there. Just need that consistency to be playing full 80 minutes, not just in patches. Their defenses need to stay connected. But again, you're playing against Ireland that are second best in the world at the moment, up there with the best. The best, yeah. One of the best teams in world rugby at the moment. Their defense is on point. Their attack is on point. So it's tough. This was going to be a tough ask. I said, even if Italy had the kitchen sink to throw at this game, it was going to be a tough hill to climb. And they didn't. 36-0. Angie Caposo was my standout for Italy. He did really well in his first game for this year's Six Nations. And that's pretty much it. What did you guys think of the game? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.